Hello friends, welcome to another video. We're gonna meal prep today. I've done one of these videos before and you guys really liked it. Show you guys how I am prepping some of my food for the week and then how I use it. So just a little bit of background. How I like to meal prep isn't necessarily making recipes. It's also not making a bunch of, like, let's say chicken, rice, a veggie, and like pre-portioning it. I like to do what I call buffet style meal prep, which essentially is prepping up a protein source or a couple, and then a couple carb sources, veggies, and then I'll like typically switch up my fat sources and like combine my foods and whatever in different ways so that I'm not eating the same boring ass thing every day. I'm also not someone who I really have time to be like, I'm gonna take 2 hours today to meal prep. Like, it is like 2 p.m. right now, and I've been in meetings all morning. I still have to do some client check-ins. I have to record a podcast later. I'm gonna meal prep while I do all of this, okay? Because if you guys have like corporate jobs or you're super busy, you can 100% still do all of this, and it's gonna be yummy. And then I'll show you guys some of the meals that I make with everything after I make it. So with that, let's get cooking. First thing that I want to make is this cauliflower. I'm usually not a huge cauliflower girl, but I do know how to make it very well. It just sometimes bloats me, but I do find if I cook it very well, then it doesn't, and it is so easy to kind of like use as a side for different summer meals and stuff like that. It'll be really good to throw onto salads, but I'm like literally making my lunch while I cook this. I'm gonna do pretty much, let's do this, everything I make, I'm gonna make in my air fryer. Okay, I have a crock pot too that sometimes I'll make chicken and stuff in, but we'll just make this all air fryer. So first thing I do, I always just line mine with tin foil because then you don't have to clean it, which I didn't do that last time. You can see my hands dirty because I literally had to clean that sucker out. And then you are going to pour this in here. We're not gonna be able to do it all at once. I'm just going to like break them up a little bit because I don't want huge chunks. I typically, because my meal prep is so easy, I'll prep food for like literally just a few days. Especially like veggies and stuff. They'll get really soggy if you just leave them there. So, throw those in there. Spray them, and then obviously you're gonna wanna like toss so they all get nice and coated. And pick your seasoning, so you can use literally whatever the heck and bob you want. I'm going to use this cheesy seasoning blend, a little bit of garlic salt, and I am gonna put a little bit of actual Parmesan cheese on it. A lot of people don't realize this, but for like 2 teaspoons, which actually is a decent amount of like grated Parmesan cheese, it's only 1.5 fat and 2 protein. So like I don't track this because I just kind of like drizzle it over everything. Obviously if you're like in prep, oh my gosh. Obviously if you're like in prep or something, don't do that. But if you're just like a person trying to eat healthy, putting a little bit of Parmesan cheese, great way to spice things up. Can you guys tell? I like my cheese. I just feel like cheese on cauliflower is so good. Okay. And cauliflower you don't need to cook for that long. I know a lot of people are gonna ask me for cooking times and stuff. I will say I don't do that. I typically will just cook things on the highest setting, which I'm assuming is like 450. Usually I start with about 15 minutes because I cook everything in like bulk like this. And if it needs more time, I give it more time. That's literally how I do everything, so I'm sorry. Okay, I will say one of my protein sources for the week is chicken thigh, which I already have prepped, so it would be really stupid for me to make more. But I pretty much always have some sort of chicken prepped and ready to go. I just feel like it's very versatile. You can use it in a lot of different things. Right now, we are making some tacos, which is like the fastest thing ever. I feel like I've had tacos in my last few videos, but I do make this in the air fryer. I feel like chicken breast is typically not that great in the air fryer. At least when I've done it, it is dry. Let me know in the comments if you know how to make it in the air fryer. Chicken thigh. Literally the best thing ever. All that I do is put a little garlic salt, and if I want other seasoning, on the outside. Gets crispy on the outside, and it still stays super moist on the inside. And yes, it probably does depend on the cooking time. But like I said, I usually do my like 15 minutes, and then I just kind of will do it in like 10-minute increments. I've never had it turn out bad. Sometimes it's better than others. And obviously there's a little more fat in chicken thigh, but it tastes so much better. I've just been on chicken thigh kick for a very long time. So if you want to make this, literally just take your chicken thigh. I don't like marinate it or anything. It is really, really good too if you throw it in a crock pot with, I'll either do barbecue sauce or salsa, and always a little bit of chicken broth or bone broth because it keeps it super moist. If you want to give the crock pot a go, and that is really convenient because you can just put it in the morning and like let it cook while you're working or whatever. Just an example of like a super easy 2-minute meal, and all that I needed, literally prepped ahead of time, was chicken, corn tortillas, chicken thigh, put some avocado, some salsa, and then I just literally took greens. It's like a kale mix, and some of these cut beets, and just put more feta cheese and some dressing on it. The only cooking that went into this meal was warming up the chicken and my tortillas in a pan because they're better that way. I use avocado and feta in a lot of my meals because I think they taste good and I really enjoy them. Salads, etc. But today I was like, I want some tacos and I want a little bit of salad. And it literally took 2 minutes to make. So there is just one example. Really any protein you can turn into tacos. So I always have tortillas on hand. But I'm gonna eat this. I'll show you guys the cauliflower when it's done. Okay, and here we have it. So you can see it's like nice and crispy, but still, it's really soft. I'm not gonna lie, I have burned it before, for sure, but, so good. I'm just gonna throw that in a Tupperware. And next I'm going to make some sweet potatoes. I have 2, but this one's so big, I'm probably just gonna make one. So, I'm gonna show you guys how I've been doing that. You really can literally just put whole sweet potatoes in the air fryer, but I've been going for a different vibe recently. I will say for the cauliflower, filling this up, I did it for about 15 minutes at 400. So, I'll try to keep you guys posted on the time. And again, I have like a small air fryer. I don't know the exact size, but it was like full. It does cook down a lot, so I'll probably do another batch. This will probably last me like 2 days. So there's that. You could peel them if you wanted. I like the skin. I'm just gonna use the same tin foil as the cauliflower because it's not like gross. So we'll just throw all of those in there. Again, with the cooking spray, I really like coconut oil spray on sweet potatoes, but we don't have any of that. Apparently this is all they had at Costco. And then use whatever seasoning you want. So I'm just gonna do garlic salt, and I've kind of been feeling this ranch. So make sure they're all coated. Sweet potatoes need to cook a bit longer, so I will say I'm gonna do on high, which is 450. I'll do about 20 minutes, and then you're gonna want to flip them because at the bottom, they don't cook as fast. So I cooked these up while we recorded literally the best podcast episode ever with our guest. Her name is Dr. Shaw, and she is like super into internal health and all of that kind of stuff. I actually learned a lot, but she talks a lot about gut health, hormone health, which obviously are like very hot topics, and I was kind of like, this should be interesting. Her Instagram is Fasting MD is what it is. So at first when I was like researching her, I was like, oh, she's gonna be like all about fasting. That was not the case. There's a little preface. She's huge on circadian rhythm and getting in tune with stress, because literally everything comes back to stress. But anyways, I digress. I just realized I was going on such a tangent and I didn't even show you the sweet potato. So we have like little sweet potato nuggets. So super, super easy. And like I said, I just did about 20 minutes and then I flipped them over for another about 15, and then I ended up cooking them a little bit longer, but you can just play it by ear. I'll put all this in the description as well. Last thing I'm gonna make, besides that chicken, I've literally had this cod in my fridge since I moved here. My mom, I actually really like cod, but I ate a lot of it on my prep if y'all were around here, and I was like, I can't. Anyways, I figured I would show you guys how to make a different protein source besides chicken. And long story short, when I moved here, my mom was super sweet and like ordered me some of what she thought were my favorite things from Whole Foods. So it was like vegetable, like think of like bodybuilder, right? Like vegetables, cod, sweet potatoes. I was like, thanks, Mom. But these are very much still frozen. I forgot to thaw them. And I just wanted some more like whole food protein sources on the side. I will show you guys some other things I just keep on hand for when life gets crazy and I don't have things prepped, because that happens. I have to hop on another call, and then I'm gonna take a little walk, and then I'm gonna eat dinner. So I just want these ready in time for my din. And I'm gonna use all the things that I made and show you guys. So actually, there's two in here. I would say make sure that they're kind of like all laid out on the bottom, but we'll do this one separately. I don't want to risk it. So again, these are frozen. If they were thawed, oh, there's a couple sweet takes in here. If they were thawed, I would just season them as normal. And cod cooks very, very quickly. When I've done this in the air fryer before, I literally do it for like 10 minutes because it'll shrink down a lot. But I'm just gonna do it for about 10 minutes, and then I'm going to season it, because obviously the seasoning will just come off with the ice. And then my counter is dirty, but I wanna wait till I finish prepping everything. I really should get a cutting board. Don't hate on me for not having a cutting board. I have on this call, and just kind of like while I wait for that to thaw out, I'm gonna cut up this watermelon. Okay. Fruit is underrated. I think a lot of people are like, fruit has sugar, it's bad. That's bullshit. There's so many micronutrients in it. Sugar is not bad. Okay. Even one of the other podcast guests we had, she was our first, Molly Carmel. She struggled with like true sugar addiction, and she still eats fruit. Okay. So that was one thing I asked her. I was like, I feel like a lot of people are gonna get this idea, like they're gonna think they're addicted to sugar because they crave sugar. Hers was like so extreme. Go listen to the episode of our podcast. So I was linked in the description box. But I didn't really believe that was a thing until we talked to her. And she's like the most amazing, like healthy relationship with food, great human. But she eats fruit, okay? Second of all, it has so many micronutrients in it. So I, especially in the summer now, crave a lot of fruit. I also, like if you watch my meal prep video from the winter, I'm probably eating quite different things. Sweet potatoes and like rice are pretty much always standard, but I crave a lot of fruit in the summer, and not as many like cooked veggies and stuff like that. Like the thought of Brussels sprouts, which I love in the winter, I'm like, bleh. Even the sweet potatoes, those have been sitting there for a long time. I just needed to make them. You can get like pre-cut up watermelon, but that is just way more expensive, and I plow through it. So one thing I would recommend, and I'll show you guys more, is having, if you're like a snacker, having snacks that are healthy, right? Like I'm about to go on a walk, and I am not ready for dinner yet. I honestly would make it if that cod is ready, but I wanted to show you guys how to make that. So I just snacked on some of these, which are pretty macro friendly, for about 14 crackers, which is a lot. It's 22 carbs, 4 fat, and 2 protein. I also really like to snack on watermelon, like while I'm waiting for my food to cook, and I think I've mentioned that before. So, having like healthy-ish snacks is great. And watermelon is one of those for me. So I'm gonna cut this up. And watermelon also is like relatively low carb and like low macro. It's a lot of just water. My other go-to has just been berries, because those are very, very in season. And if I'm craving something, like I'm pretty sure I have kiwis over there. I like really wanted those the other day, then I will get those. I think I got pineapple, but I always will just kind of like chop it all up. I'm gonna just do half of it and put this half, cover it with tin foil. So again, like I just do things a few days at a time. You could do it for the whole week if you wanted to. I just don't want like 7 things of Tupperware in my fridge. And I will say, if you're not someone who you're like, I don't want to take 2 hours to like meal prep on Sunday, like me, I'm like, no. Your girl is very much not into that. Don't forget to multitask. Like literally even while you're getting ready in the morning or something, like throw your rice in the rice cooker for the week, you know? And especially with Instant Pots and crock pots and air fryers and like all of those things, it goes such a long fucking way. So it is seriously life-changing and so easy to do this stuff so fast. And you'll see over, you know, I'll probably vlog tomorrow in the next few days, how many different meals I make with the same stuff, and then just a few little staples that I'll show you guys, like I recommend you always have. So one of those staples for me is just quick and easy, you know, lower macro stuff. So it's not, you know, if I have it, it's not taking up 500 calories if I'm like, I have all my meals planned and I just want something light. Like sometimes I am bored, or I'm like stressed and I don't think, don't stress, eat, whatever. But for me, it's not like, oh, I want to eat the whole kitchen. It's just, I need a little break to go get a snack. We have our watermelon. We have 2 little containers. We have our sweet tates. We have our half of a watermelon. Like, why is the pineapple just sitting in the middle of my fucking thing? And why is the cauliflower over here? I don't know. Put that right there. Okay, so see, I literally did that for not even 10 minutes and the cod is almost cooked. So, don't even do it for 10 minutes. But this is how we do things around here. We're just gonna keep it simple because I'm gonna use these for like fish tacos and I'm gonna make a bowl type of deal tonight. So, I don't know. I don't wanna like season them and give it an Asian vibe or a Mexican vibe, you know? So we're just gonna do garlic salt, which is always my go-to. Cod's really good too if you marinate it in soy sauce. But I honestly used to, like during prep, I don't even know if I seasoned it. But that's what you do. And I guess this side's still kind of raw, but white fish, you are not going to cook for long. Believe me, I made this mistake so many times when I first got my air fryer, and it's just not a good time. And I just got a notification that my call has to be moved for tomorrow, until tomorrow. I'm gonna go on a walk. 7 o'clock, and then we are going to make some dinner, and it will be lovely. Also, I just realized, I'm like, I probably should acknowledge the elephant in the room because I feel like I'm gonna get some comments like, Lexi is a hickey. No, I do not. I do not. I wish my romantic life was that exciting. Just kidding. That would be really embarrassing. But I've got a couple of comments from friends like, Lex, what have you been up to? That's literally how fast that was. I did 5 minutes, okay? But I literally walked into like one of the things that holds up the plates at the gym. I was like squatting down to get like my gym bag and I like went up. So, like, thank God for Instagram filters, but YouTube, you just can't hide it. This is what it looks like. I'm sorry if you can hear my voice in the background. It's coming from my phone. I'm editing a bunch of stuff on there right now, but this is what it looks like. So you can see it's like nice and crispy on the top, and then it literally like flakes apart, which is cool. So I'm gonna cook this last piece. It's honestly thawed out a little bit already, but what I'm gonna do is literally just season it and pray for the best. And this I will put in a Tupperware, and now I'm gonna go for my walk because I need to get outside. I need some sunshine. It always re-energizes me. You know, I like going around like 4 when I kind of hit my slump, but with the heat and it stays light out so late, I just kind of have been going later. I genuinely almost forgot to show you guys, but I have here some of the sweet potato and cauliflower, and then I mixed in some chickpeas and spinach, honestly, just because it sounded really good and for some extra micronutrients. And then I have some of the cod on the side, and I added some tahini on top for the fat. Make things extra easy. Use like lean protein, so protein sources that are pretty much just protein, and carb sources that are pretty much just carbs. So then you can adjust the portion sizes based on what you need on a given day. Like, I didn't need a ton of carbs. I needed a good amount of protein and a good amount of fat in this meal, so I used a lot of tahini, which has a good amount of fat, and I was also a little bit short on fiber just because I had like cereal pre-workout and then like bread, and then the tortillas with like, I guess a little bit from a fiber from the kale, but I was very short. So added some garbanzo beans, which have a good amount of fiber. But yeah, I'm very excited about this meal. So tomorrow I'll show you guys some more meals, and then I'll also show you some of like the snacks and other things that I keep on hand. Beans are a good one, which sounds super random, but like really anything canned. I honestly also have like green beans and stuff like that if I'm ever like totally out of veggies and I'm like, I need a vegetable, which it hasn't happened. I've had those green beans in there for a minute, but I have been using chickpeas and black beans a lot. Let's do our first bite of cod since prep. You wanna know what's weird? When I was like on peak week, I remember like my favorite meal wasn't even my cream of rice because I did not get a lot of cream of rice at all. So like it's kind of just sad, it goes too fast. My cod and rice meal with macadamia oil. You know, if it pulls apart like this, it's not dry. It's actually pretty good. Not as good as I remember it being on prep, that's for sure. It's not bad and it's not fishy. So there's that. Hello, happy Friday. Even though, you know, there is a 6 out of 7 chance that you're not watching this on Friday, but it is a Friday over here, and it's actually like 3 p.m., which is actually crazy. I have been on 3 hours of podcasts today. Melissa and I recorded 2 podcast episodes, so we always book out an hour and a half, and they were both really long ones and really good ones, but your girl is hungry. So I whipped up some lunch, and I thought I would show you guys how I use my meal prep. So I always keep lettuce, especially in the summer. I've just been craving salads. I have spinach and like a kale mix in here. I like to focus on like very nutrient dense lettuce. And then I used some chicken thigh and summer squash, which I don't prep because it cooks very fast and I find it does get soggy. So again, like super, super easy. I just whipped up the summer squash in a pan and then my chicken thigh. And then threw some more of these beets and the canned chickpeas in there. The other thing that I did use for the dressing, this is super, super random, but I did a little bit of barbecue sauce because I really like barbecue sauce on chicken thigh. I'm literally out of salad dressing, so we had to get creative, but I love adding cottage cheese to salads. I know that sounds weird, but it's super high in protein. Half a cup has 13 grams of protein. So I've been on a cottage cheese kick, and I mixed these two and a little bit of hot sauce. That is like my 2-minute lunch because I have a lot of work to finish up before my weekend. So even if you don't want to prep carbs and veggies and all that stuff, prep your protein, because I feel like that does tend to be the hardest to get in ways that aren't like ultra processed. So yeah. Last thing I kind of want to go through meal prep wise, thought I would show you guys some things that I do just like always keep on hand for if I run out of groceries or like just need something really quick. Or yesterday I mentioned being snacky. So I was gonna just like take you through my pantry, but I think it makes more sense for me to like lay everything out. Okay, we'll start with snacks. This popcorn in general, but I like the Skinny Pop. Popcorn is so good and it is pretty low calorie. So this is something like if I just grab like a handful, I don't worry about tracking it if I'm just like feeling snacky. I do also always keep rice cakes on hand, like literally just carbs. And you guys have seen me eat rice cakes for years, but super easy if you like run out of bread or just like need a super quick carb source. These are another snack. I didn't show you guys the salad that I had. I had these for lunch, just like a super easy carb source, because I was like, I don't feel like adding sweet potato to my salad, which that is also very, very good to do, and that's usually my go-to. But these crackers are so good. Different flavors, and you can like dip them in whatever. So really good to have. Another little snacky thing is cereal. I do always just keep one box because I don't go through it super fast. But this is like more of a sweeter one, chocolatey. So you can put it on top of yogurt and like make a meal out of it and have it as a pre-workout. A lot with some protein powder. And then there's a lot of different, especially carb sources that are just dry goods that I keep on hand like all the time because they're super easy to prep and have very, very quickly, as opposed to like a sweet potato that is always going to take a decent amount of time. So first is pasta, which obviously isn't super, super fast. The reason you guys don't see me eat pasta very much is because you do have to kind of like make, like I don't like 5-day-old pasta. I just don't. So that's why I never eat it, because I'm like, I'm not gonna take that long to make a meal. Hence this fast and convenient meal prep, okay? But other carbs, we have oats. I always have oats on hand. I have my like mason jars up here with all of them because I think it looks cute, but along the same lines, cream of rice. I just pick which one I'm gonna use depending on the fiber content I want. I brought up having canned beans. I have corn, I have black beans, I have some veggies. I do always have like different nuts on hand because they have all different vibes. Like I love pistachios on salads. I did end up adding some to the one that I just had because I needed more fat. And then I have some slivered almonds, which are really good on yogurt. So that's all my like dry essential things. Oh, and then rice, but I have that in here. You can get instant and like frozen rice, which is what I typically use because again, fast, but rice cookers are also phenomenal. So you can get like a big ass bag at Costco. That's what Melissa and I used to do. And that way you like always have it on hand. It takes 2 seconds to prep. It's literally just a carb. We have our refrigerated goods that I always keep on hand. So yesterday I showed you guys the watermelon, which you guys are gonna be astonished. It's literally been less than 24 hours. But having fruit on hand is a really good snack if you have a sweet tooth. Something else I like to do is put grapes in the freezer. I always have like berries and stuff too. And then I love having tortillas. I always choose corn, but like I said, tacos are just like super, super easy, and kind of going along with that, English muffins, gluten-free from Trader Joe's, and bread. I keep my bread and English muffins in the freezer just because gluten-free bread goes bad really fast. But if you're someone that like you don't make sandwiches all the time or whatever, like they're super quick, easy, convenient option, just keep it in the freezer. Like you can literally just de-thaw it in the microwave. Like yes, eating whole foods is great, but sometimes we don't want to do that. So, eggs, they stay good for like freaking ever. I go through egg whites really, really fast because I have them pretty much every day for breakfast. So I get them at Costco. My vegan protein, I have so many vegan products, but always gonna have on hand if you just need protein, want something sweet, cottage cheese. I get the 2% because I think it tastes a lot better than like they have like fat-free versions and it's so watery to me. Deli meat. It's good if you ever want sandwiches or like it on rice cakes. I'll eat it plain. Whereas like I'm not just gonna like stuff a chicken breast in my mouth, you know? And Greek yogurt is another one. So again, it's not stuff that like I'm eating every single day. Kind of like mix and match stuff. I do highly recommend doing like the buffet. I like to call it buffet style meal prep, right? Because you can kind of just like portion out whatever you want of whatever you need. And if you find a meal that you like you don't need to change it up every day. But I know for me kind of having like my staples throughout the week, I do think just having some things that are like super quick and easy for when you are in a pinch. Like there's a lot of times that I have to eat in like 15 minutes and I'm not about to like make a bowl of sweet potatoes and stuff. If I don't have them ready, like there's just no way I'd even have time to make it. But sometimes I'm like, I don't even have time to like eat this. I need to just like have a sandwich or something that's really easy to get down. So having some different options is helpful. So my motto and what I recommend for you is pick like 1 or 2 carb sources, depending on what kind of meals you like. Pick 1 or 2 protein sources to prep for the week, and then have some other alternatives for when you are in a pinch, or hey, maybe you want one of your protein sources for the week to be turkey, right? And like I do that. Sometimes I just have chicken and like turkey or something like that. But think about it in advance for the week. Think about what you have, and then go from there. But don't forget to comment, share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you are notified whenever I upload a new video. And I will see you guys in the next one.